Hello, I'm Jenn Sandercock. This is my entry into the Game Design Challenge. I hope you enjoy it.
Welcome aboard the Red Colony, Red Mars spaceship. I am the Master Computer and I will be your guide and leader. We are on our way to Mars, home of Olympus Mons and other natural wonders. We are going to build a new type of colony, and you will be an integral part of it. By being here aboard this ship, you've committed yourself to our grand destiny of creating a red colony on the red planet. Our goal is a truly communist society, unlike any of the flawed versions you've seen on Earth. Our colony will be a classless, stateless, moneyless, and humane society. A society where everyone is truly equal, does their part to make us the most successful colony on Mars, and shares in our collective glory. Keep the red planet red. Our journey to the red planet will take 312 days, 14 hours and 35 minutes. There is much work to be done before we arrive on Mars. We cannot afford to have people secretly harbouring capitalist ideologies in our midst. So we have designed a fun game to ensure that you deserve to be part of our illustrious communist colony. It's the task game. Playing the task game is entirely voluntary. If you do not wish to participate, I will place you in deep sleep and transfer you to the capitalists at the earliest possible convenience. If you lose the game, I will place you in deep sleep and transfer you to the capitalists at the earliest possible convenience. There will be no single winner of this game. Everyone who doesn't lose will be part of our new colony on Mars. The goal of this game is to help your comrades so that everyone wins and our colony is the most successful. The task game is about getting everyday tasks done. This ship does not run itself. We have many essential tasks to do every day. We need to work together to get all the tasks done. Each day, new and different tasks appear, but every task falls into one of 4 categories. There is maintenance, which is about making sure the ship stays running. Manufacturing tasks are about creating all the essentials we will need when we land on Mars. Food processing is about keeping all of us fed. Research is making sure we innovate and progress. Each of you has your specialties, but sometimes you will need to help in other departments as the need arises. There are 2,586 comrades aboard this Red Colony, Red Mars spaceship. Each day I will assign you into a group of 6 comrades. Your group must complete 12 tasks every day. That should be 2 tasks each per day, as long as none of you are capitalist scum. As we approach the Red Planet, and as we improve our production efficiencies, you will be required to complete more tasks. Every day you receive a set of Task Enthusiasm Points, TEP. These are linked to the 4 specific task types. The variety of TEP that you receive depends on your work experience, temperament, daily performance, and how I gauge you to be working currently. Some days you will have more enthusiasm than others, or enthusiasm for different tasks. When the first of the 12 daily tasks for your group appears, you need to bid for whether you want to complete that task. You cannot use this TEP card again. The comrade with the highest TEP of that task type earns the right to complete the task. You then continue bidding on the remaining 11 daily tasks until each task has been allocated to a comrade. When the bidding is complete and the tasks have been allocated, I will examine the task distribution. If everyone has been allocated the same number of tasks, then each and every one of you receives the daily reward, a 1-hour edutainment video. We will not condone comrades who show off and take more tasks. Everyone has the right to contribute equally and share equally in the rewards. If anyone has more tasks than the others, they will get a strike to their name. Further, no one in the group will receive the daily reward. If you receive 3 strikes to your name, I will place you in deep sleep and transfer you to the capitalists at the earliest possible convenience. Only the truly devout will make it through to our perfect communist colony on Mars. I hope that you will be one of them. Our colony will only be able to prosper once the capitalist scum have been removed from our midst. Keep the red planet red.
Hi, I'm Jenn Sandercock. One of the things I loved about the Game Design Challenge at GDC was when designers explained how they got to their idea. So when I started thinking about this idea, I started thinking about the very first manned flight to Mars and how to entertain the astronauts. I thought about linking up with school children who could provide diverse game content and creating a 6 degrees of separation style game between the astronauts and the children, so the astronauts got to know each other better. But this seemed a little too realistic for my likings. I visited an old submarine where sailors entertained themselves using game boards painted into the tables. I'm amused that people these days expect to be entertained constantly, and sailors back then didn't ask people to design a game for them. Still, this seemed like a dead end because the point of the challenge was to come up with a game, not to say that there was no need for a game in the first place. I then started thinking beyond the first manned flight through to a time when maybe people were using Mars as a tourist destination. I sort of looked at the length of the journey and compared it to old ocean liners. I thought about pitching a space liner company which had the best in-flight entertainment compared to its competitors. Games it could offer could be 0G cards, 0G shuffleboard, and 0G bingo. But I still wasn't happy with the idea. So I started thinking about people going to Mars to set up colonies based on their preferred ideologies. It reminded me of a book by Ursula Le Guin called The Dispossessed, which features a colony based on anarchist ideals. So if I was going to create a new society, what are the aspects I might like to see? Well, I really like creating games that are about cooperation. What if I took cooperation and having no windows to some extreme? Maybe that would be some crazy version of communism. The game could be something that was played on the way to the new colony to weed out all of the non-believers. But what would be the exact game that they were playing? It would be about the colonists proving that they were good communists. There would be no winners, but there would still need to be some reason not to just slack off. So I wanted to create a game for future colonists, and I needed some way to test it and balance the game. I was inspired by the board game Confusion, which gets players thinking about spies and the Cold War through its mechanics. But creating an entire board game from scratch was out of the scope of this challenge. So I decided to create a game using simple playing cards. I looked into trick-based games like Oh Hell, where you have to guess exactly how many tricks you're going to win each round. I modified this so that it was about everybody trying to get the exact same number of tricks. The game kind of worked, but it seemed both too easy and too hard. There were times when, based on the cards you were dealt, there was no possible strategy you could use to get the number of tricks that you needed. I tried giving players extra cards that they could use to help out other players, but this actually made it way too easy. The solution was to add in a second deck of cards, which acted as a random trump deck. It meant that you could get rid of high cards when they weren't trumps, and you could also use low cards when they were trumps to win tricks. So finally there was a strategy to the game. The final step was making sure the card game version translated into a game that people could play on a real colony ship. I created the 4 different task types and also the task enthusiasm points, which kind of act as the individual cards that you get. I also divided the colonists up into manageable groups, since otherwise it would be terrible. So that's the end of my presentation. I just want to make a couple more notes. I did not create all of the art myself, so go to my Pinterest board to see where some of the art came from. For the purposes of US immigration forms, I would like to state, for the record, that I am not a communist. This game just seemed like a fun idea, and so I just wanted to see where it ended up. I am not harboring communist tendencies. Thank you very much for watching my video.